Hello everyone, welcome to Even the Scales. Thank you for clicking on my video today. My name's Donna and today on my channel I'm going to talk to you about what happens when an MK Ultra mind control attack goes wrong, because this is exactly what is happening right here in Campbelltown, New South Wales. One of the things that I've noticed since the last time I spoke to you on the last video is that the people that have been involved in this, they're just finding it really hard right now to come to terms with the fact that this has all gone wrong and it hasn't turned out how they expected it to. And this is really obvious because I'm just watching people do some of the, like, they're really stooping to very low levels with the things that they are doing to carry out this abuse. I'm watching people do some very illogical and crazy things right now. So it's just really obvious that no one really knows what they're doing right now in this situation. Before I go any further though, I would like to do an acknowledgement of country and first acknowledge the Dharawal people, who are the true custodians of the land that I bring you these messages on today. I would also like to pay respect to elders past and present, as well as extend my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are watching this video today. The abuse has continued since the last time I spoke to you on the last video. And to be honest, the word abuse is not a strong enough word to describe what I have been going through, what people have been putting me through. I would call it more severe psychological torture. So that's what I have been going through since I spoke to you on the last video. And this abuse, it's been carried out by some very heartless, soulless beings who are completely ruthless about the things that they are doing. And a lot of them are all working together in groups to do this. What happened here though over the past year, something that I have noticed is that when this first started, there were thousands of people that were involved in carrying out this abuse on me. Now it's dwindled down to, I would say, it's in the hundreds. And I feel like this is because a lot of people have found their morals and, thought, oh, this is really wrong. I'm going to stop being a part of this. And then I think there were a lot of people that were lied to. I think that people were being lied to get them to carry out abuse on me. And a lot of people have found out that they have been lied to and they have stopped. So it's like now we're left with the individuals in society who these are people who have no morals whatsoever that are still carrying out this abuse. They are people that are probably never going to find morals. They are the selfish, the cruelest, and the most arrogant people that are still left, being a part of this right now. And it's really allowed people to see who these people really are on the inside, because I think, a lot of people, a lot of bad people, they're able to pass themselves off as good people in the community. Whereas this experience, the way that this is happening, it's only, the really cruel, arrogant people that are still being a part of this. So it's easy to see who these people are right now. So I'm going to quickly go through why this has been happening to me. For those of you who haven't heard my story before, I'm not going to go right into the details because you can go back and watch any of my other videos and they will go into the details about the reasons why this all started. But basically, my family and the majority of the community, the police and other authorities here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, have been carrying out something called MK Ultra mind control on me. And MK Ultra is a tactic that's used to it's when a whole group of people, a large group of people get together and carry out very cruel psychological abuse tactics on one individual. So this is what has been happening to me. And they do this to try and make the person lose hope. They try and make the person lose hope in their life, or they try and affect the person's health, either physically or mentally. Or some people pass away from going through MK Ultra. And, it's just whatever comes first. But they want to cause me serious mental or physical illness because they want me to get to a point where I am incapacitated so that I cannot take care of myself, so that I have a total, you know, breakdown of my life, like a tragedy. So this is what they're trying to do because they want control of my life. And I'll get to the reasons why that is so in a minute too. But the abuse is carried out constantly with MK Ultra, day and night. It never stops, and this is so no matter where I am or what I am doing, there is some kind of psychological abuse being carried out on me. Now, it has been very quiet here today, and it was also quiet yesterday, but I went out yesterday afternoon and I was still stalked by many people. So it's very much still happening. This is all being done because it is all a part of a massive cover-up by the justice system. Now, this is a very cruel and evil crime that's being done to me right now, and it can actually be classified as a war crime, some of the things that have happened over the past year. And, it's actually a crime against humanity. It's not just a crime against me or the people of Campbelltown. It's actually a crime against humanity that this has happened. And, it's pretty shocking to actually, know that it is the justice system here in Australia that is behind this, or in New South Wales at least. And this was all so uncalled for. It really was. I mean, I'm an innocent person. I do not deserve this. I've done nothing wrong. And it's brought a lot of destruction to a lot of people, and it's also brought a lot of destruction to the environment. And it's all been done so some very abusive police officers and civilians can escape accountability for the crimes they have committed. And some of the crimes include pedophilia and acts of violence against women, serious acts of violence against women. So they're just the more serious things that they are trying to cover up. I have also been treated very unfairly in regards to receiving justice for myself over the past 10 years in matters of family and domestic violence. And my family have also stolen an inheritance from me. So this is why my family have been so invested in, being a part of this and, basically the MK Ultra working on me. I had police in my family and also police connected to my family over the past 10 years that have been obstructing justice from taking place in my life. The family and the police have been using psychological abuse on me for well over 2 years. But just over a year ago, the community got involved when the justice system started paying the community here in Campbelltown to abuse me. And MK Ultra is a way of taking a person's life without any single person having to get their hands dirty or looking guilty. And this is because it's taking someone's life as a group, a very large group of people, because they've made sure that I have had absolutely no help through this whole ordeal. And it's the justice system that have made sure of that. They have purposely isolated me, and my family have as well. They have purposely isolated me for several years now, and absolutely everyone's involved. And it's like they all just hoped that they sat back and they just hoped that the abuse and the isolation would eventually, just cause me to get very sick, or that it would take my life. And everyone involved in this had something to gain out of it. They have obviously done this to people before, and I can tell this by just how severe the abuse has been that they have been carrying out on me. I mean, it is really horrific abuse, and these people were just so confident when they started doing this to me. The abuse is very cruel, and it would be a huge risk to do this to somebody if you wasn't sure that they were going to get sick or pass away, or that they were going to eventually get control of my life. And I don't think anyone involved in this ever really considered that I might survive, because perhaps no one ever has before. And there's also the fact that it was thousands of people against one person. And one thing I know for sure is that I am definitely not meant to be here right now. And I think because this has probably never happened before, these people have absolutely no idea what they are doing from one day to the next. I mean, it will go quiet here for a day sometimes, and then they will start the abuse back up again full on. So they just don't know what to do. And I think that even though the justice system is behind this whole scheme, I think there are a lot of stakeholders involved in this whole thing. Everything is backfiring on these people because I am sticking up for myself, and I'm not backing down. I mean, I'm going to fight for my life, and I am not just going to let this community or my family bully me to death, because that is the raw truth of what is happening here right now. These people are trying to bully me to death. These people are panicking. They're doing crazy things that don't even make sense right now. And the abuse I'm being put through by people like this is relentless right now. It has been absolutely relentless. It's like these people are trying to force my life to end. And because I've survived this, it has just dragged on and on and on. And there must be people involved in the organisation of this that sit in high places, because otherwise they would not have been able to pull something this huge off. So there must be. I mean, it's just logical that there would have to be. This experience has been so traumatic, so difficult to get through. It is an absolute miracle that I am still sitting here right now, able to talk about it. And, I've somehow found the strength to do that, and I can only thank God for that, because God is all I have had through this whole thing. I have had to do this totally alone, with no help from anyone. And even though I did have certain people in my life a little bit over a year ago now, I still had people in my life. Those people were actually plotting and planning to carry this out without my knowledge, being nice to my face, but stabbing me in the back and planning all this to take place. So it's actually been around just over 12 months since I have had a conversation with another human being, like an authentic face-to-face conversation, because of the bullying that I've been through and the isolation that I've been made to go through, because they make sure I have had no help. If I reach out to anyone for help, the justice system goes to that organization or that person and either bribes them not to help me, or they tell them that they just can't help me. They're not allowed to. So I have been tormented and abused every waking hour of the day for over a year by this community, my family, and the police here in Campbelltown. And, you know, today is quiet, and so was yesterday for the majority of the day, and I am just so grateful for that, and I am just hoping and praying that there is some kind of resolution taking place right now where this is going to stop. My family and other people involved have all sat back and watched me go through this and you know, go through suffering, like severe suffering through this. They have just sat back and watched every bit of it. And I'm going to talk to you about, since the last time I spoke to you, I'm going to talk to you about the groups that are still involved, that have been still involved in the abuse. It's mainly people who have access to my energy. When I go out, they still make it so no matter what direction I look in when I go out, there is someone carrying out psychological abuse. And the psychological abuse that they are using right now has a lot to do with sound, sight, and scent. So they're using things like that to psychologically abuse me, because those are things that are easily hidden from other people. It's very sneaky, because, you know, it wouldn't be detected by other people who didn't know exactly what was going on here. And those are the things, sound, sight, and scent, those are the things that a schizophrenic person would claim that they were experiencing. Like a schizophrenic person would claim that they are seeing things, or they are smelling things, or they are hearing voices and things like that. So this is how they are trying to make me look, so that if I go to anyone and I tell them that this is happening, that I will look like I am crazy. So this is what they are doing. People are still listening in on my home. There is still a listening device in my home and also in my car. And all of my devices are hacked. And it is not just the police that can listen in on these things and watch my devices. It is also the community. So it's just, my human rights are being abused in the most disgusting and severe ways. And it is not only just the community, it is the pedophile that can listen in on my home and watch my devices. It is the violent person that has committed serious crimes against women that can listen in on my home and watch my devices. It is my whole family that is involved in this. I have no privacy whatsoever. The people who live close to me that are involved in this can listen in on my home. So I have people that are living within meters of my home that are listening in on every single thing I do, and have been for over a year. And this is so these people can all monitor everything I'm doing, everywhere I'm going, so they can come up with creative ways to carry out abuse on me. And some of these people have been stalking me very, very aggressively. They watch every move I make. And sometimes, even if I move from room to room, these people will go and stand underneath that room and do something to carry out psychological abuse. These people watch every single detail of my routine every day. Yesterday I did a video and I had technical difficulties, and everyone can see that video. People can see this video that I'm filming right now before I even post it to YouTube. The community here in Campbelltown can. And yesterday I did one, and I talked about the things that I'm talking about now on it. And because I had mentioned those things and everybody had already seen it in this town, when I went out and yesterday afternoon, they started using all of the abuse tactics again that I had mentioned in the video that I had filmed privately in my home that I hadn't even uploaded to the internet. But everyone can see it before it even gets uploaded. Even if I'm going to an appointment, everyone knows where I'm going and what I'm going there for. All of my personal information can be seen by everyone. Every single personal detail. And I mean, that alone would be enough to drive some people crazy. And it's really hard to accept at times, but I've just had to flow with it and just keep moving. There's also some very sick-minded people who are controlling the ads that I see on my social media platforms and my music sometimes. And these people are very sadistic. They must have very sadistic minds, very vulgar. These people are disgusting with the things that they do. Other different groups that are still involved in the abuse are groups that have already done so much. They've already done so much. They've already carried out so much abuse on me that when they are caught, they are probably going to be charged with attempted murder because they have actually abused me so much to take my life. This is being done to take my life. There are also a lot of people still involved in the abuse, I think, that are connected to the Campbelltown Public Hospital. For those of you who don't know, I was set up to be taken to the Campbelltown Public Hospital around this time last year. It's almost a year ago. I was totally set up. I should never have been taken there. I was held there for 5 weeks against my will, and I was put through extreme psychological torture from the doctors, the nurses, and the fake patients that they had set up there. And I believe a lot of those people are stalking me because, I mean, those doctors and nurses and everyone involved does not want to be held accountable for what they did. But I'm going to keep speaking up about it until they are, because the abuse that I suffered over that 5 weeks was absolutely horrific. I have made a video on the details of what I went through during that time. I will leave the link in the description box. I will also put a link in the description box to another video that explains more detail about the things that the justice system are trying to cover up. Because there's a lot to do with domestic violence as well. A lot of the people that are still carrying out abuse are just natural abusers who are just enjoying having that power over me, and who are actually getting a kick out of, harming me. Just total creeps who are just listening in on my home and just getting a kick out of doing this. It's really sick. It is sickening to know that I have people listening in 24/7. A lot of the people who live close to me are involved, as I just mentioned, and these people, the people that are involved in this, they have been for over a year, and it's because they have that close access to me that they are able to affect me in ways, in very sneaky ways, that can't be seen by other people. And a lot of these people have really enjoyed having that domination and control over my life as well. I have had to constantly protect myself from these people. And I would describe what I have been through with some of these people over the past few weeks, or over the past year actually, as brutal harassment. And everything they have done is premeditated. They totally plan it all out. They work together in groups. Over the past week, these people have resorted to things like trying to frighten me in the middle of the night. They will prowl around outside my windows of a night time. They're trying to get me to look out the window. They're trying to scare me. And yeah, it's very, very sneaky. And a lot of the things they do are very sneaky. As I said, like a lot of people can't see what's actually going on, like when it's people, that are close doing this. And they were constantly provoking me, constantly. And this is because they want me to react. They want me to get angry with them so that they can turn around and say, look, she's crazy. But yeah, anyone would get angry with what these people have been putting me through. The police also stalk me, the Campbelltown police. They have been stalking me for a year. They stalk me in police cars and in the police helicopter. And they do this to intimidate me and to generate fear, to cause me anxiety, and just to give me that feeling of hopelessness because, the fact that they're involved and, they're not going to help me. And I think also why the police do this is because they want the community to think that they are still, very much in control of this whole situation. And that way the community won't stop abusing me. Because, I mean, let's face it, if there's a community and they're abusers and they're watching the police abuse me, they're not going to stop abusing me. They think it's okay to abuse me. So I think this is why the Campbelltown police have been doing this as well. A lot of businesses have been involved in this, and since it started, and a lot of the businesses that were involved when it started are still carrying out psychological abuse on me now. They're still finding ways to do that, and in very cruel and ruthless ways, I might add, very cruel. A lot of other people that are still involved are just money hungry, greedy people who probably have a lot to lose if I don't get sick or pass away, and a lot to gain if I don't. So yeah, I think there's people just still involved in it for money. Then there are groups that are just attacking me for no real apparent reason. The only thing that I can think of that it might be is something to do with race or religion. I'm definitely not a racist person. I am very spiritual. I support multicultural communities, 100%. And I do consider myself, like I would probably be classed as a vulnerable member of the community, being that I am single and over 50 years of age. I have no idea why these people are stalking me so aggressively. I am being stalked by like every race, all walks of life, by people from all walks of life. But I have noticed, and I'm just being honest, I'm just stating facts here, that the Asian community are stalking me every time I go out, and so are the Italian community lately. And I have no idea why. And, I'll state again right here and now that there are all races stalking me. There's no doubt about that. But I have just really noticed that the Asian community and Italian community have been stalking me a lot over the past couple of weeks. My family and other people have worked really hard in the background of my life for a long time now to spread a lot of really, really harsh lies on my character that are just not true. And the reason they have done this is to stop me from getting into relationships, whether it be friendships or long-term partnerships. They just don't want me to have any support. For me to have a partner or any support in my life would be an absolute nightmare to these people, especially right now. And my family also committed a lot of crimes on my life over the past 7 years, I would say. They have committed a lot of crimes on my life just to try and destroy my life. Serious crimes, I might add. But just over a year ago, when the community got involved in carrying out abuse on me, it was like my family must have thought, oh, well, we can sit back now and we can just watch the community abuse her. We don't have to do anything. It's all being done for us. Because they, as I said, they have just sat back and waited for my life to end. And the justice system, they knew that I had a very uncaring family. They knew my history. They knew the abuse that I had been through and the things that my family had done. They knew that my family isolated me. So they capitalized on that. And I guess they thought, well, no one's going to save her. She's got no family that are going to support her or come and help her. So, yeah, that's why it's been easy for them all to do this. And, you know, even if something happened to me, it would be easy for them to put me in hospital and, you know, I might not ever come out. And that's just a fact because of the people that I've had in my life and what's going on here. So I'm still being swamped with stalkers every time I go out. Yesterday afternoon it happened again and the day before. And I don't know how they're recruiting these people, whether they just, you know, they can track me and see where I'm going and they follow me, or if they're working off some kind of other platform. I'm not sure. But they're doing it digitally, like off some kind of digital platform. And when they come towards me when I'm out to stalk me, they are all there to carry out some kind of psychological abuse, which is usually designed to make me feel a sense of abandonment, hopelessness, or grief. They also send lookalikes of my abusers when I go out, like all the abusers that I've ever had in my life. They know every single detail of my life, dating right back to my childhood. And yeah, they send lookalikes of my abusers towards me. I mean, it's pretty lame. I don't know what it's supposed to do. It's pretty stupid, really. But like I said earlier in this video, some of the stuff I'm watching people do, like they look crazy. And the thing is, they're trying to make me look crazy. But these people look crazy carrying out the abuse. It doesn't even make sense. So when I go to shopping centres, like and out in public, like they really do go to great lengths to carry out this stuff. And I am being provoked every single second that I am out. As soon as I leave my driveway on the road, I'm being provoked all the way. And sometimes when I park my car, they will get people to come and just park like really, really close to me. So it's really hard and stressful to get out of parking spots. And then when I go into shopping centres and things like that, I just have them all coming from every direction. And it's like every single second there is someone doing something to provoke me. So the illegal listening device is still in my home. There's nothing I can really do about it myself, because if I do try and get help for that, if I reach out, to a company that specializes in that to help me try and find it, the justice system are just going to, stop that company from coming towards me, or they're going to make up some excuse why they can't help me, or they will just say that I'm crazy, like there's no listening device in your home. So all I can do is really keep speaking out to protect myself, and that's really all I can do. So they're still carrying out noise attacks. They are still going on daily. They are not as loud as they were, and there are not as many. Sometimes it might only be one car or vehicle that's involved, but these are people that are listening in on my home, and they are carrying out the noise according to what I am doing in my home. Sometimes it might only be one car, one motorbike, and sometimes it's hundreds. It just depends. But it's all based upon what I'm doing. And sometimes if I just get up through the night or something like that, they will send a trail bike around the streets. And that's just to let me know that, they're listening into my home and they know that I've just got up. Or when I get up of a morning, sometimes they will start up a noise attack. And I don't know if sometimes they're told to stop carrying them out, because, they're being done to deliberately create noise and pollution. That's why they're doing it. They're doing it to try and provoke me, because, they're trying to drive me mad with the noise for one, and then they know that I care about the environment a lot, so they're deliberately creating pollution. They were constantly sending cars up my street to do this. And when they can't use the noise attacks with vehicles on the road, they resort to planes. So there has been one light plane pilot that has been involved in this for an entire year, and this person has constantly participated in noise attacks and flies over my home, sometimes 10 times a day. So I'm an innocent person. I don't deserve any of this. I really want this listening device removed from my home. And that's where the situation is right now with the people that are carrying out the abuse. They have totally failed in carrying this out, and no one knows what to do. And these people are definitely caught. There is too much information out there now for them to cover this up. Far too much. And I am sure that I will not be giving up on my life. I will continue to speak up about everything that happens. And if you have watched this video to the end, I thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you can, I would ask if you can just tell people what's going on here in Campbelltown, what's happening here. If you can, also, I would appreciate it if you could like the video or share the video. It just helps to get word out there. It helps the video to circulate. And who knows how many people this has been done to in the past, and these people have gotten away with it. And who knows how many people may have to suffer in the future going through something like this, if people don't find out that conspiracy theories like this actually do exist. So once again, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now, and God bless.